Well, hello, everyone. I'm sorry to go live a little bit late. Sometimes that's just the way it works out. To be honest, we had a 4-hour Zoom call with my locals earlier today, so I had to hustle a little bit to get ready for the stream, but I promise we've got a really good stream today. There's lots of stuff going on. I'm honestly not even sure we're going to get through all the topics I have planned, but you know what? There's always tomorrow. There's always tomorrow to address additional crazy town nonsense, even if we don't get through every single thing today. But we are going to give it a try. Guys, welcome to Live at 5. Live at 5 is a show that I do, well, at 5:05 today, but usually around about 5 o'clock on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday on my main channel. On Fridays, we go over to my second channel, Actively Unwoke, for happy hour. And on Saturdays, usually I rest. Well, I used to rest. I don't rest anymore on Saturdays because now we do Sassy Saturdays. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Sassy Saturday as we get into our stream today. But we've got a lot to cover, guys. Please mount that like button for me. Please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Just double check you're subscribed. Double check you have notifications turned on. You know what I found out earlier today, actually, on my local Zoom call? I found out that a person who has been a very strong supporter of me from the beginning actually is shadow banned on YouTube and was trying to chat in yesterday, was trying to super chat in for my 100th episode with Joshua for Nothing Remotely Controversial. YouTube is literally not allowing it. So you never underestimate YouTube shenanigans. Never underestimate it. You don't know what they're pulling in the background. But let me give you a little bit of a preview of some of the stuff we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about Elon Musk buying Twitter. Now, again, because there's no other topic really we can talk about, and there's so many different aspects of this today. You know, you'll remember a couple weeks ago when Elon Musk, well, not even a couple weeks ago, I don't even know when, whenever Elon Musk made his initial purchase and became the largest shareholder in Twitter history, then announced his intention to buy Twitter in a hostile takeover. If you'll remember, when that was originally announced, the board of directors at Twitter actually said that they were going to enact a poison pill strategy to prevent Elon Musk from buying Twitter. The board of directors of Twitter did not want Elon Musk anywhere near the company at all. And then they realized that if they did that, they would get sued by their own shareholders because it would be neglecting their fiduciary responsibility to the company. And then they were like, sure, Elon, you can come and give us $44 billion. It's all good, man. And now Elon Musk has come back and he's saying, you guys lied to the SEC about how many spam accounts you have. And I'm not so sure I want to pay $44 billion for a company that has 20, possibly as much as 20% or more of the accounts on it being spam accounts. So they're in a little bit of a Mexican standoff. And the really interesting thing is that now Twitter, that just a couple of weeks ago was going to literally enact a poison pill to prevent Elon Musk from buying the company. Now Twitter is demanding that Elon Musk buy the company. They're demanding. They're like, no, Elon, you're not backing out of this now. Isn't it funny what a couple of weeks can do? Isn't it funny how a couple of weeks and $44 billion can completely change the tone of things? So we've got a lot to cover today. We are going to be talking about the next video drop, the latest video drop from Project Veritas, which, I mean, this one, I don't know if content-wise this video drop was more shocking than the first video drop that we talked about yesterday, but just in terms of the absolute arrogance of the Twitter employee they caught in this one, it is a sight to behold. If you haven't seen this Project Veritas video yet, we're going to watch it. We're going to do some commentary on it, but they literally got a Twitter employee on film making fun of Elon Musk's Asperger's, which is ironic because, of course, we know the woke left. If you make fun of anyone for anything ever, the woke left are the first to call you bigots. If someone on the right ever dared make fun of someone with Asperger's, the woke left would call them an ableist of some sort. But of course, rules for thee, but not for me. It is perfectly okay in the land of the woke left for a leftist to make fun of Elon Musk for having Asperger's, but God forbid anyone else make fun of anyone else in the world for anything if they don't align with their political ideology. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about another interesting announcement that Elon Musk made today. And if you haven't seen it yet, I'm not going to spoil the surprise, but we've got some other things going on too. In fact, we're going to talk about this incredible breaking news from Chris Rufo. And the reason that I really like this story is we were just a little bit ahead of this one, guys. I love it when I'm a little bit ahead of Chris Rufo. I'm not going to lie. Listen, I love and adore Chris Rufo. I'm so grateful for the work he's doing. He's a champion. He's a warrior. And just like the work he does and what he's accomplishing is absolutely incredible. And he has done an expose on the school district of Philadelphia, encouraging teachers to attend a transgender conference on kink, BDSM, transsex, bigger dick energy, and banging beyond binaries. And the reason I say we were ahead of this a little bit is if you'll remember back to January, we all watched a webinar in Happy Hour, the one we do on Fridays on my second channel. We watched a webinar from the Philadelphia School District talking about how they had infused equity throughout their entire curriculum. You guys remember that crazy webinar where the math teacher was talking about how she teaches tree equity in class and the social studies teacher was talking about how maps were racist? That's the Philadelphia School District. So now Chris Rufo has unearthed more just like exceptionally crazy shit. And we're going to take a look at some of the stuff he's unearthed. We're also going to talk about something interesting that happened at this UFO hearing yesterday in Congress. And I do think we live in a little bit of a wacky time, don't we, when Congress can literally hold a hearing on UFOs and no one cares. We have transcended aliens being interesting. This is literally how effed up our world is. We have transcended people being interested in aliens. But I'm going to show you a really interesting clip that I think should probably be getting more attention than it is, especially considering today, if you haven't heard the news, we're not going to cover it on this stream, but the disinformation, the Ministry of Truth, the Disinformation Governance Board that Biden was going to try to implement with that crazy woman leading it, that's apparently gone away. But don't get it twisted, guys. Just because that Biden disinformation Ministry of Truth thing is going away, don't think the government is let up on this disinformation thing. And I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you what they said in this UFO hearing that's a little bit nutty. And then we're going to end today. Do I have something else? Oh, there was this crazy clip that happened on MSNBC that we're going to talk about, them being branded as racist. I think we might skip this Vice thing. We're going to do something different, but I do want to end today on a really fun website that was introduced to me by Fran. Hat tip to Fran. Fran is our queen of sass for the week. Fran is a locals member. She's been a supporter for a really long time. And on our local Zoom call today, Fran introduced me to this fabulous website called Karens for Hire. And it is amazing. This website has just made my entire day. This website may have made my entire week. So we're going to take a look around it, and I'm going to introduce you guys to, if you haven't seen it yet, the most amazing satire, but kind of serious website that I've ever seen in my life. It's going to be fabulous. I promise you, you're going to want to stay to the end to get a look at this. But guys, before we get into that, I do want to remind you that if you enjoy the work I'm doing, if you enjoy the daily streams, the daily content, sometimes we do serious content. I like to feel that like 6 days out of the week, I do news of the day, news of import, give you a perspective that maybe you aren't going to hear anywhere else. If you would like to support the work I'm doing, I would invite you and welcome you to become a member of my locals community. Oh, I just realized I don't have my locals URL in my screen name. I can fix that right quick. I think. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it doesn't want to allow me to fix my own screen name right now. That's fine. You can join my locals community. All the links are in the description below, whether you're watching right now on Rockfin or Rumble. For some reason today, and I apologize to those people who usually watch me on Odyssey, for some reason today, Odyssey didn't take the live stream. But if you want to support the work I'm doing, you can head over to kb.locals.com/support. And you can join my locals community for $5 a month. You can join for $50 a year, which gives you 2 months for free. You can also make a one-time gift if you like. You can also give more monthly or annually or however much you want. Of course, you don't have to. You're under no obligation. But $5 a month or $50 a year will get you access to all the exclusive perks of my locals community, to include our 2 Zoom calls that we do every single week. I spend between 8 and 10 hours on private, unrecorded, secret safe space Zoom calls with my locals members. And I'll tell you what, guys, my haters are so paranoid about what goes on these Zoom calls. They really want to know what's going on these Zoom calls. Sometimes my haters create entire stories and fabrications about what I'm doing with my locals members on these Zoom calls. If you want to find out what we're doing, if you want to find out the latest gossip, the latest tea, if you just want to connect with other like-minded people who are trying to maintain a little bit of sanity in an otherwise insane world, then you definitely want to get in on these Zoom calls. They're fabulous. We do them on Mondays and Wednesdays. So their next one's coming up on Monday at 7 p.m. Plenty of time to sign up to join. You're also going to get access to our book clubs that we do. You're going to get access to our bitchcrafts. You're going to get access to our supporter-only Discord. You get access to possibly joining my Unwoke army if I decide you're not crazy, because only not crazy is allowed in my Unwoke army. I am crazy enough. I don't need any additional crazy around me. So you can find all that and much, much, much more at kb.locals.com/support and signing up as a member. Now, I also wanted to tell you, if you haven't heard yet, I might have a book out. It came out last week. It's called Actively Unwoke, the ultimate guide for fighting back against the woke insanity in your life. And guys, I'm asking for your indulgence for a moment. I'm asking for something. I want to read you a review that I got on the book last night. And I'm honestly, like, I'm so humbled by this review. It made me feel so good when I read it that I just have to share it because, first of all, it's an incredibly well-written review. I'll tell you guys what, like, some people, they just really go out of their way when they're writing a book review. And it's like, I have such respect for it because, like, when I'm reviewing something, I kind of put like 5 stars and then I might write a sentence or two, usually because I'm really in a hurry. So I have a deep respect and appreciation for people who put that extra time into writing reviews. And I got this review yesterday that I'm just like, I was floored at how flattering this review was. And if you'll indulge me just a moment, I do want to read it. I know it's a little bit long, but I think some of you are really, really going to appreciate the content of this review. I know I really did, and I think some of you will get a kick out of it as well. So pardon my indulgence in reading a review about myself, but I'm gonna make it happen. It's my stream. I can do what I want after all. Brian says, I'm a special kind of crazy. Yes, you are, Brian. You are the kind of crazy that we love and appreciate. So this is from Creative Zion Man. And he says, CRT is a disease. Actively Unwoke is the cure. Much has been written and discussed with regard to the culture war in the Western world today between the fateful adherents of critical race theory, who are grossly overrepresented in government, academia, and the media, and everyone else, conservatives, libertarians, centrists, or anyone with so much of a shred of logical consistency or intellectual honesty. Most of that dialogue takes the form of esoteric, theoretical, abstract discussions that most average citizens have neither the time nor interest in listening to, let alone participating in. This book is not part of that dialogue. While Borisenko provides ample analysis and evidence in support of her utter contempt for CRT as an ideology, this book reads more like a manual. Oh, sorry, Crispy. Christian. Yes, probably Christian. I suck at pronouncing things. I'm sorry. Creative Christian man. Sorry about that. Let's see. While Borisenko provides ample analysis and evidence in support of her utter contempt for critical race theory as an ideology, this book reads more like a manual. Borisenko's aims are practical and immediate to sound the alarm and to equip the rational members of American society with the rhetorical and psychological weapon required to defeat this insidious ideology. This book will invite slings and arrows from both the left and right, and the author is aware of this. She revels in it. If CRT is a vampire, Borisenko is its Van Helsing, a focused, unrelenting foe who seems born to the destiny laid before her. She's never been better than when she is striking hard blows against this monster. Let me be frank, I certainly do not agree with many of Borisenko's personal or political views. Since entering the public sphere as a political figure, she has made statements on other topics that many people take issue with. I don't know what you're talking about. And you can be sure that advocates of CRT will amplify those positions in an attempt to sow division, blunt the scope and effectiveness of her cause, and undermine the incredible work she has done as the author of Actively Unwoke. I would plead, therefore, for would-be purchasers and readers of the book not to fall for these distractions and obfuscations. There is simply too much at stake. We don't always get to choose our heroes, and even the best champions aren't perfect. Dr. Borisenko is no exception, but when the dire circumstances arise and a warrior is required to contend with and dispatch a common enemy, what matters most is how formidable and effective our champion is, and how willing that hero is to enter the fray and fight for our interests. Karlin Borisenko is such a warrior. Not only has she studied and labored in the field of organizational psychology, she was formerly an avowed leftist who more or less ascended to the general tenets of CRT without much reflection. The institutions of academia and the corporate world that are now so infected with this virulent ideology were once her vocational environment, their professors, deans, administrators, and HR specialists, her former colleagues. She is intimately aware of the academic and corporate cultures that have allowed this pathogen of CRT to flourish, and so her prescriptions for fighting this disease are insightful, pragmatic, and effective. The shrill CRT invective forum in all places, an online knitting group, set Borisenko on a path of discovery that led her to the epiphany that has subsequently changed her life. She now fights with courage, passion, and unbridled fury against CRT within the systems she once served. All of this is to say that not only is Actively Unwoke thoroughly researched and logically presented, it is informed by her extensive experience. The book is no mere academic exercise, however. Borisenko makes few unique claims. Her aim isn't to win intellectual arguments. It is to crush the critical race theory movement, render it as a footnote in the history of Western civilization, to be mocked and scoffed at for all time as the dysfunctional, irrational, and contemptible religion of failed cultural Marxists that it is. I have intentionally focused the bulk of this review on Borisenko, the person and public figure, rather than on the book itself, because there is no need for me to offer a detailed synopsis of this work. You will learn when she is advocating when you buy it and read it for yourself. In fact, if you are a person who is concerned with the damaging effects of CRT on the nation, with its attending diminishment of our civil liberties, and are committed to fighting back, you should be purchasing multiple copies. Actively Unwoke is essentially a rules for radicals for logical, insane people. Every parent of a child in public schools, every employee of a company with a dedicated HR department, every college student, professor, or dean who isn't an avowed Marxist, every person who esteems traditional cultural values, including faithful adherents of any major religion, and every patriotic American citizen who celebrates civil liberties should own this book, read it, apply its practical tactics, and share its insights in every public forum and on every social media platform. This book needs to become a runaway bestseller. It is a perfect retrovirus with which to cure our nation's CRT rabid madness. Thank you, Dr. Borisenko, for your timely cure. Your vaccine may save us all. I know that was long, guys, and I thank your indulgence for allowing me to read it on the stream. I was just incredibly flattered by it, and I wanted to just give a really big thank you to the author of the review. I do know who it is. I actually messaged with him a little bit last night. I was just really surprised when he wrote such a thorough review, and he's always been a great supporter, and I don't want to out him publicly, but I really just appreciated that review. So I wanted to say thank you, and thank you guys for indulging me in reading a very long but thoroughly and well-written review. So if that convinced you, listen, man, I don't know if that review doesn't convince you to buy the book. There's probably nothing else that I can say to buy the book, but that's where we're going to leave that today. Was it Christian Watson? No, it was not. I can say that emphatically because Christian Watson is about to start a new show with the Queen from England, which I'm sure will go as well as I think it will, but that is a topic for Sassy Saturdays. All right, guys, mount that like button. Let's get into it. So Elon Musk the other day put his Twitter deal on halt, citing fake accounts as his primary concern, the $44 billion buyout, possibly in jeopardy after reports that under 5% of the accounts on all the platforms are fake. Elon Musk announced that he was buying the social media platform Twitter, blah, 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 blah. Today, weeks after initially announcing he would buy the social media platform, Musk posted that he was pausing the deal while he waited for details supporting calculations that under 5% of all Twitter accounts are fake. The platform has a base of around 229 million users, according to most of its quarterly reports. This predictably had an immediate effect on Twitter share prices, which fell by about 10% after the news broke. Now, what I think that Elon Musk is doing here, and we talked about this on the stream yesterday, what I think he's doing here is he's trying to get Twitter for cheaper. That's it. He's trying to get Twitter for cheaper. That's all it is. And, I think that that is the game that he's playing. But since Elon Musk came out and put pause on the deal, Twitter is now saying, how dare you, Elon Musk? How dare you try to pause our $44 billion deal? And again, this is really ironic because about a month ago, Twitter was willing to completely advocate. There it is. Advocate. I don't know. I'm having trouble pronouncing words today for some reason. Abdicate its responsibility to its shareholders and implement a poison pill that would have prevented Elon Musk from buying it in the first place. And now they're saying, nope, you got to buy it, Elon. You offered us $44 billion. I don't care if you're making the stock price go down. You got to follow through on the deal. Let's listen to this from the New York. Let's read this from the New York Post. Twitter said it would not allow Elon Musk to wiggle free from his $44 billion offer for the social media platform, despite the multi-billionaire's threats to walk away if the company doesn't prove it is sufficiently cracking down on spam and bot accounts. Yeah, Brent, sadly I've had no whiskey today. I've barely even had enough coffee today. Cheers. But there is always tomorrow. The San Francisco-based company filed a statement with the Securities and Exchange Commission on Tuesday morning, hours after Musk tweeted that he may not proceed with the deal. Sam is absolutely right. Twitter is getting caught. Twitter is playing shenanigans. It would not surprise me at all if Twitter lied to the SEC. And now Sam says Twitter got caught in some potential fraud. Well, given that we know from Project Veritas that Twitter employees don't really do work, if you missed that Project Veritas video from yesterday, they basically caught a Twitter employee saying that he works maybe about 4 hours a week. So it wouldn't really surprise me if Twitter's quality control was not up to snuff. That's all I'm saying. Twitter is committed to completing the transaction on the agreed price, the company said in its SEC filing. The Tesla and SpaceX boss agreed to pay $54.20 per share for the site on April 25th, but has seen shares plunge by 30%, closing at $37.15 on Monday. Musk faces a $1 billion breakup fee, plus the risk of hefty legal expenses from a breach of contract lawsuit if he scraps the deal. And this is why I wanted to read this particular article. $1 billion. This is going to sound crazy, guys. $1 billion for Elon Musk is nothing. This is what I really want people to understand. People like the New York Post and Twitter seems to think that a $1 billion fee and legal expenses is going to scare Elon Musk away from walking away from this deal. I don't think it will. I don't think it will at all. Elon Musk is paying $44 billion for Twitter. $44 billion. You think he hasn't factored into the equation that if he decides to walk away from this deal, it's only going to cost him $1 billion in legal fees? Now, for us, $1 billion is a lot of money. For Elon Musk, right now, where he is right now, $1 billion is not a lot of money. $1 billion is like the cost of doing business. That's what it is. Brent says he is worth $280 billion. Imagine if you will, that You are paying, let's just make the numbers smaller. Let's imagine that you are paying $44 for something. You've decided you have $280 in your bank account and you are paying $44 for something because you've decided that thing is so important to you that you are willing to spend, about, I don't know, what is that? Like a sixth, a seventh, 1/7 of the money you have in your bank account on this one thing. Okay. So $44 out of $280. And then you decide that that thing that you thought was so great was really not as great as you thought it was. And you're like, you know what? I don't really want to spend 1/7 of my entire life savings on this one thing. But the cost of walking away from that deal was $1. Are you going to stay in that deal for the thing you don't want that you don't think is worth your $44 because it's going to cost you $1 to walk away? No. No, you are not. You are not going to you're not going to let that $1 keep you from walking away at all if you are really committed to walking away from that deal. So this is the point that I want to make. Well, I don't believe that Elon Musk is going to walk away from this deal for Twitter. I think it's been played up way too much in the public space. I mean, listen, he's a smart businessman and he's a very pragmatic businessman, but I think he's doing this out of principle more than anything else. I think that this is a project for him, and I think he's honestly having way too much fun with it. Elon Musk is having his red pill moment right now, and as someone who has red pilled, like that process of red pilling is an exhilarating experience. That prospect, like the thing that time when you finally get to say the things that you always wanted to say that maybe you were holding back on, and I think we can all agree that Elon Musk is no longer holding back, and I'm going to show you evidence of that. It is exhilarating. It feels really good, even to the richest man in the world. It feels really good. So I think he's having way too much fun with it. I don't think he's walking away. But the point I want to make is he could if he wanted to. And a $1 billion fee plus legal fees is not in any way, shape, or form going to stop him from walking away from this deal if he ultimately decides that pursuing that even if there are 20% of the accounts on Twitter are spam accounts, like he could legitimately say, you know what? It might have been a nice fantasy. It was fun while it lasted, but this is just not for me. It's not worth $44 billion. He could walk away in a second, and I don't think he'd think a second thought of it. The other point I want to make on this is, listen, people like Elon Musk that know how to create massive wealth. Elon Musk has done this a couple of times. My understanding, and I don't know his whole backstory, but he was one of the founders of PayPal, built up a lot of wealth from PayPal, and then he took all that wealth and sunk it into like Tesla and SpaceX, I think. And he himself, I don't think there were periods of time where he himself personally, he may have had like wealth invested in other areas, but he himself personally didn't have that much money. And now guess what? He has built up massive wealth again. People that have built up massive wealth, they're wired differently than the rest of us. They understand that they are always in a position to make as much money as they want to make. And it's just a matter of deciding to go out and do it. Elon Musk would never be afraid of spending $1 billion on something in his life because he knows that he can make another $1 billion if he really wants to. And he can make another $1 billion really, really, really easily. So he is gauging things in a fundamentally different perspective than people like you or I who are not billionaires. Well, I assume no billionaires are watching my stream right now. And if you are a billionaire watching my stream, why don't you send me in a nice big super chat? I'm just saying. You better be in my locals if you're a billionaire watching this YouTube stream. Anyway, my point is Elon Musk is fundamentally wired differently. He doesn't have the same metrics that we all do because he knows that no matter what he ever does in his life, he will be able to make massive, massive, massive amounts of money. And that means he's going to be willing to take more risks. He's going to be willing to say things that other people don't say. And that's why today, Elon Musk announced that he is going to be voting Republican. This came out just a couple hours ago. In the past, I voted Democrat because they were mostly the kindness party. But they have become the party of division and hate, so I can no longer support them and will vote Republican. Now watch their dirty tricks, campaign against me, unfold. Well, he's not wrong there. Now, what I would say, of course, is that Elon is like at step 1 of his red pill journey. The next step of his red pill journey is going to be figuring out that the Republican Party is really no better than the Democratic Party, and then he's going to become a libertarian. I know, we got to wait a little while longer. Listen, man, it took me about a year to go from the Democrats suck, I should probably support the Republicans, to the Republicans suck just as bad as the Democrats, I need to become a libertarian. It took me about a year to get there. I understand Elon is having his own walkaway experience. He's having his own red pill experience. It's a journey. It's not a destination. When I say that, I actually mean it, unlike some people who are shilling for conservatives. But I think eventually Elon Musk is going to realize, I mean, the Republicans are certainly better than the Democrats, but still, they're a uniparty. They suck. And I trust that Elon Musk is going to get there someday. But some people are having feelings about Elon Musk coming out as a Republican. And one of those people is Patricia Arquette. Patricia Arquette angrily confronts Elon Musk as he reveals he plans to vote Republican. Writing on Twitter earlier today, Musk explained that he had switched his allegiance from the Democrats that had become the party of division and hate. We just read his statement. To this statement, actor Arquette responded, "You say this with a straight face, as Republicans roll back basic civil rights for LGBT people and women, including rape and incest girls, forced to carry their violent attacker's child to term. You want your daughter to inherit that?" Musk complained to President Joe Biden, compared President Joe Biden to Anchorman's Ron Burgundy, who loses his job as a newsreader in the 2004 film because he lacks the ability to improvise. So I'm sure we're going to see lots more crying on Twitter today about the fact that Elon Musk has declared himself to be a Republican. And of course, one of the things I loved most about this is who pops into his replies but Scott Presler. Are you registered to vote at your current address? Elon Musk has just been introduced to Scott Presler. How amazing is that? But I would be remiss if I didn't follow up to the news yesterday about infiltrating Twitter. Now, I'm just curious, chat have seen this yesterday. It was another doozy. I think that this is one of Project Veritas's, it's one of the more accomplished hits, to be honest. They did an absolutely outstanding job in this investigation. They've gotten some amazing footage, and I just really want to watch this video. Let me pop it into another browser while you guys are responding in the chat. Oh God, am I fucking hell? Goddamn fucking audio cable. I blame Mercury retrograde on the audio problems I've been having. It is Mercury retrograde's fault that I'm having audio problems. It is not my fault. It is the universe. It is astrology. It's the way it goes. But it looks like some of you have seen the video. Let's just watch it again. Let's watch the whole thing. Let me get it up in my other browser. Sometimes people just watch clips, but we're going to watch the whole thing because it's just absolutely fantastic. All right, let's go.
Well, right now we don't make profit, so it's going to say ideology, which is what's led us to not being profitable.
The rest of us who have been here believe in something that's good for the planet and not just to give people free speech. These are the policies we've put in place for misinformation or misleading.
Yeah, Sam says this is why their Section 230 should be revoked. Sam, I actually agree with this. I do think Section 230 should be revoked, but my worry is that I think the Democrats are going to use this as a weapon now that Elon Musk is buying Twitter. I think they're going to try to use it as a weapon to go after Elon Musk, which, you know, I guess that's the cost of doing business, and we can cross that bridge when we come to it.
Labeling media. Yeah. It's going to be hard for him to be like, oh, because people should make their own decision.
No, it's not going to be hard for him at all.
People don't know how to make a rational decision if you don't put out correct things that are supposed to be out in the public. He has Asperger's.
Yeah, I know that.
So he's special. You're special needs. You're literally special needs. So I can't even take what you're saying seriously.
Making fun of his new boss with Asperger's. What a moron.
Advertisers are freaking out because of what he's like tweeting about, like being like, I want free speech, yada yada yada. Yeah. Like, who really knows what that even means?
Like, Now, is Twitter's definition of free speech the same as Elon's?
Apparently, according to him, no. As an advertiser, as my business is what I do every day and why I go out is like, we want it to be as fair and transparent and accurate as possible.
Yeah.
And if that means there's a level of censorship to make it correct, quote unquote.
In order to be fair and transparent, we have to censor. That doesn't sound Orwellian at all.
Quote again, and what does correct mean? I guess like it just kind of goes into the idea of like, well, what is correct? Like every idea of like, you know, it's kind of like the principle of being like good and bad. Like good and bad exists, and it's either is bad or it's either good. It's not like a mix of good and bad. It's like one or the other, and it's like kind of the same idea of like, is it truthful or is it lies, or is it a mix of truth and lies? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, where do you draw the line? Like,
That's my concern, though. That's why I hate this deal so much. Elon's gonna f everything up.
don't. He might try to, but there are people that are going to try to push back as much as they can because we are doing. The rest of us who have been here believe in something that's good for the planet and not just to give people free speech. But I think when he has to talk to the employees and face the music and be like, this is, because again, like these people really do believe in what we're doing. And so like, if people are they're not just going to be like, these are the policies we've put in place for misinformation or mislabeling media or whatever.
Yeah.
Why do you think this should be taken down?
Yeah.
Like those are the questions they're going to ask him.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for him to be like, oh, because people should make their own decision. It's like,
This guy should be the very first person Elon Musk fires. He should be the very first person, not even just because of the Asperger's thing, which is bad enough. But the fact he is blatantly saying here, and yeah, he's on a date and he's trying to impress this Project Veritas reporter because he's not smart enough to realize that he was being surveilled. But the fact that this guy truly believes that Elon Musk is going to be afraid of Twitter employees that disagree with him, I'm sorry, what? Like, that's some kind of hubris. I'll tell you that. Elon Musk is going to have absolutely no fear of these people. Elon Musk probably looks at these people like they're ants. He is on a completely different level than most of them. This is like, you know what this is? These idiots, this idiot right here, are like my haters on Twitter that are basically like high school mean girls, like fakertarian type energy, but they think they're the smartest people in the room, but really to most of us they look like raging morons. That's who this guy is right here. Sam says, to be accurate, we have to lie. Yes. Another Orwellian phrase. Thank you, Sam.
like, no, but people don't know how to make a rational decision if you don't put out correct things that are supposed to be out in the public.
But what it really comes down to is, does Twitter care more about profit or ideology?
Now I think it's about, well, right now we don't make profit, so it's going to say ideology, which is what's led us to not being profitable.
That's what's happened?
Well, Twitter's not profitable.
Because of ideology.
Well, if we're implementing all these rules and Elon wants to dismantle them, then technically our ideology has led us to not making money.
Oh, look, a rare admission of fact. The woke ideology that has taken over Twitter has prevented them from making a profit. A rare admission of fact. Thank you, Jen, for the super chat. The best part of this is that Project Veritas has me, people from Twitter rate of what my dating. I'm not sure. Okay, it says afraid not rate. Jen, I'm not sure exactly what you're saying. I'm sorry. Hang on. The best part of this is that Project Veritas has people from Twitter afraid of dating. Yeah, okay, I think this is what you meant. That Project Veritas has people afraid of dating. Yeah, this guy should have been more afraid to date. He really should have, and we're going to see that at the end. The end of this video is just the best part.
Because we're not making money. And Elon wants to turn it the other way so that we can make money. Do you get what I mean? I have no doubt that there's more to what they tell us than...
He's literally hitting the hidden camera. He's literally hitting the goddamn camera.
Than what they tell us. Like, there's probably is some more... Tell me the real... Like what you're asking, I have no doubt there is. But there's a statement they need all 7,000 people to say. And so they can't, like, tell us that, like, the real truth. Like, you get what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. I think at the end of the day, what the real truth is that they can't ever really say, it's all about money. It's all about money and making all these money. Parag, Jack, the board members, everyone gets paid. Elon gets like tax benefits, doesn't have to pay taxes forever.
Right.
Everything. Like
Elon Musk paid $11 billion in taxes last year.
Greed America.
Elon Musk as a person is whatever. I don't like. He's a Looney Tune. He has Asperger's.
Yeah, I know that.
So he's special. We all know that. That's fine. So you know he's gonna say some crazy because he's special. Because Ken, don't you also see his piece of? Why can't we just all love each other? Haven't you seen his other tweets where he's like, "I'm like your special needs. You're literally special needs. Literally, though, you really are." So I can't even take what you're saying seriously because you're special.
Okay, just so like people with Asperger's, for anyone who like Asperger's is sometimes called the beautiful gift because some of the smartest people you will ever meet in your life have Asperger's. And so for this guy to A, not understand what Asperger's is, B, not understand that Asperger's is probably the secret weapon that has vaulted Elon Musk to being as successful as he is, Elon Musk would probably not be a multi-billionaire if he didn't have Asperger's. That is the reality. And then to say, "Oh, you're special," as though this guy has anything on Elon Musk at all. My God, the hubris, the arrogance, the elitism of these people. Incognito says, "Loose lips sink ships." Oh, well, I don't know that he's sunk a ship. I do think he may have sunk his own career at Twitter and possibly everywhere else for the foreseeable future. But okay.
So.
People are starting to leak now. Like what?
Unfortunately, it would be like you recording me right now and giving it to like the New York Times and like, here, I just had dinner with the Twitter representative. Here's what he had to say. I just had a whole thing. Look at it.
He literally got the email. Literally got the email from security while he was on a date.
Wait.
You can read it.
Let me see. And how to protect yourself. Groups like Project Veritas are active right now.
Project Veritas.
What is that?
It's like some group that's trying to just out the employees. Like they're trying to go on dates with them like this and record them and then go sell it to the New York Times and say this is what the Twitter employee just said. Like this is what's really happening. This is what they're telling us to not do. You're lucky that you met me organically because I would be questioning everything about you.
Oh, Project Veritas outdid themselves with this one. Well, guys, that is the latest Twitter drama that is going on with Elon Musk. Mount that like button if you think that guy was a douche, that guy was an idiot, that guy deserves to be fired. Oh my God. That was just like the fact that he was literally showing the Project Veritas guy, the email in response to Project Veritas at the end. Wasn't that just the most delicious thing that's ever happened in the history of Project Veritas? I imagine that James O'Keefe was especially pleased with that little kudos right at the very end. I hope that Project Veritas reporter gets a raise. I hope he gets a promotion That was epic. There should be some wall of fame that guy goes on, because good for him. Well, guys, speaking of delicious, speaking of drama, you know, I like to do serious news on this channel 6 days a week. Well, serious relatively speaking. News of the day. Obviously, I try not to take news very seriously, because honestly, if I took every story that I covered really seriously, I would probably lose my mind, and we have to keep our sense of humor about these things. But I do try to cover serious stories, make sure people are caught up to date on what's going on in the land of the woke, what's going on with censorship, what's going on with critical race theory, what's going on with all of this bullshit that we have to deal with every single day. But on Saturdays, I do something a little different. On Saturdays, sometimes, not every Saturday, but sometimes, I'm joined by my friend, he's in the chat right now, Graphically Alex, for Sassy Saturday. And this Sassy Saturday, we've got a doozy. We have got a doozy. Because as you know, my arch nemesis on the internet, Karen Carey Smith, has been running her mouth about me again on Twitter. And, you know, though I really do try not to look at the epic amount of psychotic bullshit that comes out of Carrie Smith's mouth about me on Twitter, I do like to get my revenge in my own ways. And, you know, Carrie Smith is a good Christian. She has converted recently. She attends church faithfully. She has a pastor that apparently, fun fact, and I learned this from looking at Carrie Smith's tweets a while back, apparently in Carrie Smith's church, if people are not behaving in accordance with Christian teaching, then they're excommunicated from the church. They're kicked out. They don't have fellowship with them anymore. And the pastor that enforces these rules, his name is Bradley. And I have found a stream in which Carrie and Bradley are talking about the meaning of life and, I think, larger Christian beliefs. And because, you know, I'm just a generalized spiritualist, I just thought it might be good to learn how to be a good Christian from someone who lies about me on the internet literally every day of the week. I thought I might take a little time out to learn what real Christianity is from Carrie Smith and her heretic pastor. We are going to be watching this stream on Saturday starting at 6 p.m. and we're going to be doing commentary on it. And if you never attended one of our Sassy Saturday streams before, I'm sorry. Not only are we dramatic little bitches, I feel that Graphically Alex and I do give out sage life advice, like the sage life advice we gave to Deb Philman a couple weeks ago when we told her that she really, really, really needed to get a man to tie her up and dominate her, and that would make her life so much better. We gave out incredibly sage advice on that stream. And I feel like we're going to do the same here. I feel like we're going to be able to assess Carrie's Christianity, learn from it, and provide sage life advice for all of you well-being dramatic little bitches. And that's going to be on Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be a long stream. And if you don't like the drama, you don't have to engage in it, man. Listen, I see people complaining about my drama all the time. And what I say to them is, I do 6 days a week of serious content. I do 6 days a week of content that is not dramatic and not bitchy, and I do clips in between, and I try to provide a wide spectrum of information, and it takes up a lot of hours in my day. Where are you for the other 6 days a week? If you don't like drama, you don't have to watch. But if you do like drama, you are welcome to join. Nat D, Nat D is about to be on Deb's shit list. Nat D, Deborah MILF Woman. I'm just going to leave that there for posterity. So please join us at 6 p.m. on Saturday if you would like a little bit more drama in your life. All right, let's talk about Chris Rufo. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? Before we even get into this, I'm going to put this in a different screen because there's some video that I want to watch. And this is actually going to be, I haven't even really looked at this whole thread that he did yet. So this is actually going to be kind of like a discovery process for me. Let me make sure I can make the text nice and big so we can all see it. Chrome tab. There we go. Chris Rufo has gotten some shocking video from the school district of Philadelphia. And let's see what he's gotten. Scoop. Last year, the School District of Philadelphia encouraged teachers to attend a transgender conference on kink, BDSM, transsex, bigger dick energy, and banging beyond binaries. I've obtained exclusive videos from the conference that will shock you. Thread. Number 1, trans activist Chase Ross hosted a series of sessions on packers, masturbation sleeves, and prosthetics for sex, demonstrating a variety of dildos. It's a big boy. This is like gigantic, he said during one demo. Give me 2 hours alone and I'll get this in my butt. All right, let's watch. Let's watch.
A prosthetic that you. The purpose of this workshop is to showcase different types of prosthetics available for sex. Almost every single one that I will be showing you, all of them actually, look like penises. I have tried and touched many dicks, all right? Prosthetics, real dicks, all dicks. This is one of the most realistic feeling in terms of like the inside of a penis, all right? And now a pack and play is going to be a prosthetic that you can use for sex, but you can also pack with it when you're not having sex. You're just walking around. It's your everyday packer that you just wear in your pants. And then when you're ready to get in the mood, you're boy-yo-yo-yoing and you can go and have sex. But here, it's a big boy. This is like gigantic, all right?
That's gross. I'm sorry.
Give me 2 hours alone and I'll get this in my butt.
You know? Oh my God.
But let me tell you, I know it's not for sale and I'm not reviewing it, but it's really soft. Like it has a hard core, and then the outside is just like
what is wrong with this guy?
It just feels really good. I do like the fuse. Like for anal sex, this is really, really great. If this person is more,
I'm traumatized. I'm traumatized by this. I mean, what am I watching?
My choice will always be the joystick, but if we're moving on to the,
what the hell? Okay. Paid for by your taxpayer dollars, Philadelphia. And moving on. Another session, trans sex, banging beyond binaries, was led by Jamie Joy, a self-described kinky, polyamorous, pretty big slut, and Lucy Fielding, a self-described white, queer, kinky, polyamorous, visibly able-bodied, Jewish, witchy, non-binary, trans, femme. Sam says, how is this not a hostile work environment? Well, Sam, you talk about shoving something that size up anyone's butt, and I would definitely view that as a hostile act. I'll just say that. Oh God, gird your loins. Okay.
I'll introduce myself. I'm a certified sex educator. My pronouns are they, them. I'm also outside of doing sex education, I'm also a community organizer. I'm also I'm a big Jew, so I'm into all my Jewish rituals. I'm into all my deli meats. I'm into all my morning bagels. That's a big part of me, so I feel like I had to name that. And I'm also a pretty big slut. I wear that title pretty proudly. And I self-identify as kinky and polyamorous, and I also call myself an organizer, because in my free time outside of my day job, I like to get people together to explore their fantasies and their perversions in group.
Hi, I'm Lucy Fielding, and my pronouns are she, they. Please mix them with reckless abandon. I am a resident in counseling practicing in Charlottesville, Virginia. I am also a sex educator, and I'm a white, queer, kinky, polyamorous, visibly able-bodied, Jewish, witchy, non-binary trans femme. Femme is both my queer identity and my gender identity.
Yeah, I'm also really excited to be playing with you. I haven't gotten to explore a lot of my mommy kink, And
What
I
the
think
fuck?
for tonight, I'm really wanting to feel
I wasn't expecting
cared
that.
for,
Sorry.
but
Wasn't
also
expecting
get
mommy
punished
kink.
a little bit. So I want like a lot of praise, and I'm feeling like you're a good boy. And that's kind of my intention. What about for you?
This is a professional conference. This is a conference that the Philadelphia School District sent teachers to. I'm not old enough for this. I'm not experienced enough for this. Oh God. Oh God. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know. How many videos are there? Oh God. Chris Rufo's traumatizing me. Oh my God. Brian, I'm pretty sex positive, but this song for a work environment at all. This song for a work environment? I'm not sure that's what you meant, Brian, but yeah. I'm obviously not a prude. I tell people to mount the like button. But I'm starting to feel a little, Deborah's 67 and not old enough. Yeah, I really hope, Cider, I hope you're not watching today. Cider, if you're watching, you need to leave. Cider is one of my high school fans. And sometimes I love my high school fans, but like, if anyone under 18 is watching right now, you need to leave. The women discussed various kink activities, including fetishes involving puppies, spankings, and Mary Poppins. They also suggested using new trans-friendly language for genitalia, such as front hole and back hole. WTF, Miss K, slapping our... Listen, man, I wasn't expecting it to be this bad, all right? I should have trusted my gut. I almost didn't cover this story on the stream today. Then I was like, Chris Rufo said this was really effed up and I should probably look at it. I didn't realize it was this effed up, okay? We're gonna get through this. Okay, let's go.
For so many years, I just felt so boxed into using very particular kinds of language because I was like, this is the body, and I can't re-envision outside of that. And I think like coming into my trans identity was an opportunity to be like, oh, I actually get to re-envision my body however I want to. So this is how the game's going to work, is that we're going to drop into the chat different words that we like to hear for bodies that are not gendered, that are like completely just fun names for people's bodies. Like a great one, just as an example, just to get it going, and then you all can jump into the chat, is I like people to use the word goodies. Can I touch your goodies? Can I feel your goodies? Thank you to Sierra.
Why are they so obsessed with sex? I don't understand. I don't understand.
Chest and front and back hole are great too.
Oh.
So a lot of you actually have named some of the ones that I actually was going to share with you already. So you can keep adding ones in the chat. I'm going to start to show some of the ones on my screen. So we have bits, we have innie and outie, front hole, junk, goodies, package. We have more. Let's keep going.
Oh yeah.
Equipment, back hole, sweet spot. Ooh, someone says treasure. Ooh. Yeah.
Treasure.
This activity is just showing us that we have
like hidden treasure.
Hundreds, perhaps. We have hundreds of words that we can use to talk about our bodies that make us feel really connected and
I do not feel connected.
Dysphoria, that don't make us feel like triggered or out of our bodies.
I do not feel connected. Brian says Carlin is vanilla, LOL. No, Carlin is not vanilla at all. Carlin just does not think that this is appropriate to talk about at a conference that is being paid for by the Philadelphia taxpayers to send their teacher. If I was in my private life and not live on the internet right now, I would have no problem talking about this. This is a different thing. This is like next level. And you have to assume that if teachers are going to this conference, that conference is trickling into the classroom. This is the scary part. Listen, man, if adults want to go to a conference where they're talking about innies and outies and goodies and equipment and fucking treasure, I guess that's okay. They're adults. But how many of those adults from the Philadelphia school district are bringing back this information and bringing it into the classroom? Sam says people have been fired, sexual harassment for this. Oh, yes. Yes. If any of these videos were played at all in any work environment, that is grounds for firing based on sexual harassment alone. Sean C says, if someone asked to touch my goodies, I'd expect to end up being told to put lotion on my skin. Yeah, it is a little creepy. It is a little creepy. All right, we got a couple more. We're going to make it through. We're already committed. We're committed. In a discussion about adolescent gender this is actually one of the most disturbing things. In a discussion about adolescent gender transition, Dr. Scott Mosser explains that he has performed over 2,000 top surgeries, which involve removing girls' breasts, and that there is no age limit for beginning the gender journey. And Chris Rufo did the math on this, and I think it was in a separate tweet. At about $10,000 per top surgery for 2,000 surgeries, this guy has made $20 effing million performing top surgery on teenagers. Let's listen.
Me. So I'm super committed to gender surgery. In the past, I used to do cosmetic surgery. I'm a board certified plastic surgeon, and I've always been drawn to things that are deeply impactful. In the GCC, Gender Confirmation Center in San Francisco, we kind of have these like secret missions. Now that it's on the slide,
secret
these public
missions.
secret
Oh,
missions.
yes, we should definitely have secret missions for teenagers.
One of them is that we try to live with our values 30 to 40 years in the future. So, and that puts us in a mindset of extreme affirmation, because affirmation at that time is a foregone conclusion. This is a time in the future when gender is just a thing. Nobody makes a big deal out of it. People are being screened as children and adolescents for their gender journey, and appropriate steps are taken to get them involved in a multidisciplinary process to get them where they need to go. That's the future. I do not have a minimum age of any sort in my practice. There's no chronological age that says you don't get surgery. Now, having said that, I don't think I've ever done a consult on a 12-year-old yet, but we would if one came our way. We just haven't had reason to. And then we've done a number of 13-year-olds who we did consults on. I think I've done 1 or 2 13-year-old surgeries. For the most part, it's 14 and up, that by the time everything comes together, plus insurance approval, plus everything, that surgery actually gets completed. We do not require any particular identity. We only require that somebody has gender dysphoria and uses a multidisciplinary process for us to assess.
You have a question?
Please, yes.
Yes, what was the youngest age a trans masculine kid could consider this surgery?
So there is no youngest age at all. With parental consent, somebody could even do a consult with me at age 10, 11, or 12.
And I want you to notice, he didn't say this out loud, but look at this bullet point that he's got. Here, I want to just pause it. Okay, he's got living, so not necessary to have a particular status in identity, hormones, or living as gender for a period of time. He says this is arcane. This guy is very literally telling us that a 10, 11, 12-year-old girl can walk in off the street and just say, I'm trans, cut him off. Not that the 12-year-old girl would say that, because I'm sure they wouldn't articulate it in that way. But that's basically, and he would do it. Even if that 12-year-old girl had never had counseling, had never socially transitioned, that is sick. This guy is making tens of millions of dollars mutilating teenagers. That is sick. In a session called Bigger Dick Energy, 2 female-to-male trans activists, Coffee and Sammy, explained the process of phalloplasty and using an artificial penis for navigating, cruising, and anonymous casual sex life. Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm definitely going to want to listen to this. All right. It's only 2 minutes. We can do it.
Really appreciate it. My name is Kofi. My pronouns are he, him, or they, them. I am a Black, queer, trans writer and educator. I'm also several years post-op phalloplasty with Dr. Chen in San Francisco, although I currently am living and in the process of moving out of in a house in Iowa City to New York. And I'm excited to talk to you all in our discussion about our cleverly titled Bigger D Energy, just what it means to live in a life after bottom surgery with my co-facilitator, Sami.
All right. So here's just some suggestions for topics that Kofi and I and the rest of you can discuss today. And we'll just go through some of those. Post-op depression, intimacy, life post-dysphoria, life with lingering dysphoria, because for some of us, bottom surgery does not necessarily totally remove dysphoria, being post-transition, navigating cruising and anonymous/casual sex, life with ongoing complications.
Do you disclose? So I often don't disclose, actually. It depends. But I also, like, personally don't really cruise with cis people anymore. so that also, like, when now that I cruise with trans people, I do disclose, but I also don't feel like I don't have to disclose. So they're like,
Wow. Much of the conference, including the most graphic sessions on prosthetic penises and artificial ejaculation devices, was explicitly directed to minors, with one presenter saying, "There's no age limit because I feel like everyone should be able to access certain information." Oh, isn't that nice? The Mazzoni Center, which hosted the conference, received $5 million in taxpayer dollars last year and has worked with the school district on sex health research and sexuality programs for students, and the district's director of teacher leadership sits on Mazzoni's board. And then he's got a full article for City Journal. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Paid for by the taxpayer dollars of Philadelphia to send their teachers to this conference. Guys, I strongly recommend that you go check out Chris Rufo's work on this. If you weren't already disturbed at what is going on, I am sorry. For people who are not quite ready to hear that information, I promise you I was not quite ready to hear that information either. That was way more graphic than I was actually expecting based on a brief perusal of that story. Sometimes I like to react to things live on this show. It's just the way you get a more authentic reaction that way. I can't with this. They're teaching this to kids. Oh my God. Well, I promise you, we're not going to talk about dicks anymore in this episode. We're not, well, no, I don't think we will. We're not going to talk about any of this stuff anymore. Let's talk about aliens real quick, okay? Let's talk about aliens. We got some alien stuff. And because yesterday on Capitol Hill, there was a hearing about UFOs. And you know what? The ironic part about this is I tweeted this out and I said, well, this is going to go completely unnoticed because now aliens are boring. And I was right. No one was talking about this UFO hearing yesterday. No one was watching this UFO hearing yesterday. However, actually I have to switch back to Chrome. However, something odd did happen at this UFO hearing yesterday. And I kind of want to show it to you. I want to show you guys what happened. And this is just a little quickie story, and then we're going to go on to the Karens for Hire website. But check this out. And I have to give a shout out to Benjamin from my locals community for bringing this to my attention, because even though I was interested in this UFO hearing, I did not have time to watch it yesterday. But Benjamin did message me, and he said, Carlin, you know, not for nothing, but in this UFO hearing yesterday, they were talking about prosecuting American citizens for disinformation in regards to UFOs. I was like, excuse me, what? Because, of course, this disinformation board, this Ministry of Truth that Biden had wanted to establish, thank God, now the Washington Post has reported today that the Ministry of Truth has been put on pause. The woman that was supposed to lead the Ministry of Truth has now resigned. So we dodged that bullet. But don't think we're out of the woodworks quite yet, because now if you report aliens showing up in your backyard, apparently Republicans want to prosecute you for disinformation. Let's listen. No sound? Okay, hang on. My B. Okay, I probably set it up wrong. Hang on. Probably set it up wrong. Let's try again.
Anything that diverts us off of what we have with the resources that have been allocated to us, send us off in these spurious chases and hunts that are just not helpful. And they also they also contribute to the undermining of the confidence that the Congress and the American people have that we are trying to get to the root cause of what's happening here, report on that, and then feed that back into our national security apparatus so we are able to protect the American people and our allies. So it is harmful, it is hurtful, but hopefully if we get more information out there, we'll start to lessen the impact of some of those spurious reports.
So just taking that a step further, that misinformation, false narratives, manufactured. So what are the consequences? Are there legal consequences? Are there examples that you can give us where people have been held accountable by this misinformation or disinformation?
I can't give you, any examples where somebody's been legally held liable for putting something out there, but
well, I guess what's the deterrent from people engaging in this activity?
I don't know. I don't have that answer. That's something that, welcome the dialogue with Congress to talk about that with the members who, help legislate those laws to say what should be the legal ramifications that we could use to potentially hold individuals accountable, whether it be citizens or information that might be injected into our media by other forces or other countries, if you will.
Now that we have the sound working, is anyone else possibly a bit perturbed about the fact that a Republican congressman from Indiana asked about prosecuting American citizens for UFO disinformation? Patrice says, too many home videos of secret government crafts. Yeah. So you know how we have like documentaries about aliens and people put videos on YouTube about aliens and UFOs and sighting and that kind of cool stuff? This is quite literally, we'll watch it again, guys. This is quite literally a Republican's rep saying, maybe we should prosecute people who are exposing things about aliens and UFOs that we don't like, that the government doesn't like. We'll start it in the middle where this rep comes in. People are asking who it is. This is Representative Darren LaHood, and he's from Indiana. All right, let's go again.
Just taking that a step further, so that misinformation, false narratives, manufactured. So what are the consequences? Are there legal consequences? Are there examples that you can give us where people have been held accountable by this misinformation or disinformation?
I can't give you, any examples where somebody's been legally held liable for putting something out there, but
well, I guess what's the deterrent from people engaging in this activity?
I don't know. I don't have that answer. That's something that, welcome the dialogue with Congress to talk about that with the members who, help legislate those laws to say what should be the legal ramifications that we could use to potentially hold individuals accountable, whether it be citizens or information that might be injected into our media by other forces or other countries, if you will.
What are the consequences for alien disinformation? for American citizens from a Republican rep. I can't even, dude. Listen, this is a good lesson. This is a lesson for Elon Musk. Republicans are not your friends. Anyone that thinks Republicans are your friends, anyone that thinks Republicans are on your side, anyone that thinks that Republicans will protect you from censorship and the Ministry of Truth, they are not your friends. And I'm going to say this too. Like, I posted this video on Twitter earlier. It's only got like 4 retweets and 12 likes. I am literally shocked at how many people don't think that this is actually a problem. Now, I know it was just a question in a random congressional hearing about aliens and UFOs. But dude, a congressman, a Republican congressman from Indiana is asking a member of someone who works for the DOJ about prosecuting American citizens for putting out information that the government doesn't like. And this is happening on the same day, apparently, that the Ministry of Truth is being dissolved. Don't think that this whole Ministry of Truth Disinformation Governance Board thing is going away anytime soon, because you can actually see in this video, no one's actually against the idea. No one in the government is against the idea. The problem with the Disinformation Board, the Ministry of Truth, is that they implemented it and rolled it out in a really shoddy way that pissed everyone off. But now, they're literally talking about this live on C-SPAN, and no one is paying attention because they're like, all right, Biden's Disinformation Board is done. Guess we can all go home. Dude, if there's anything that I want average people reporting and posting on, it is alien and UFO sightings. We should all want that. I want the aliens to come so bad. I want the aliens to save us from this proverbial nightmare that we are all collectively in. I actually think the aliens are already here and they're just not showing themselves. US government talking about prosecuting American citizens for alien sightings. What a time to be alive. Well, guys, I've got one final story today, and it's a fun one. We saved the best for last. This is the reward that you all get for suffering through Chris Rufo's reporting on that sex conference that we just watched. This is our reward. We ate our vegetables, and now we get to have dessert. And again, I have to do a shout out to Fran from my locals community for bringing this to my attention. Oh, wait a second. I have a super chat from Savrits. Savrits, I'm sorry I didn't read your super chat. Savrits, anyone have doubts that this is about creating the oneness of matter? When man knew no woman and woman knew no man, not individual, oneness of the divine. Yeah, I believe that's true, Savrits. I do. That's why they want to get rid of gender. But I do want to talk about Karens for Hire. This is karensforhire.com. And this is a fabulous website. I don't know if this is actually real. I think it's real. I really do. Apparently, so how Fran found out about this is Fran was cruising around TikTok and she found a TikTok video of a woman who said she was driving down the street and she saw a billboard for karensforhire.com. And so she went on the website and it's crazy and it's amazing. So I actually do think this is real. And you know what? Maybe we can even use this to our advantage. Maybe the Unwoke Army can crowdfund and we can hire ourselves some Karens. Let's read. It says, Karens for Hire, entitled to help. We Karen so you don't have to. And then they have an entitled to talk blog post. I love, they have the best logo. Look at this logo. Karens for Hire. Oh my God. This is the best. Apparently they're out of Pittsburgh. Let's go to the about section. This isn't about us. This is about you. You are a hero in this tale. You are Harry Potter. We are Dobby coming in at the end in Deathly Hallows. You are Captain America. We are the Avengers materializing behind your facing insurmountable odds in Endgame. Karens, assemble. Injustices happen every day, all day, every day, on large and small scales. All of you have suffered from some form of injustice this past year, past month, past week, past day, or just before you came here. No matter how minor or how petty you feel it may be, we have your back. Karens believe that every minor injustice you accept as "it's fine, it's no big deal, I'll live, my friends or partner thinks I'm being petty or overreacting," lead to larger injustices being that much more easily accepted. Well, that noise stops now. What? You don't have time for this shit? Get the Karens. You don't want to make a scene? Get the Karens. You need to go to the mattress? Well, Mattress Firm ain't got nothing on the Karens. You don't want to come across as being a Karen? Well, guess who does? We understand the stigma that comes with the term Karen. Of course, some of these Karens could be viewed as lunatics. Do you want us to pour a large soda over the cashier's head because she forgot your $1 bean burrito? That's going to be a no from us, dog. The Karens we employ are described as a cross between John Wick and Dumbledore. We are all colors, all shapes, all types, like a junkyard. With the decades of experience in their chosen field, a Karen isn't exactly the boogeyman. We are the ones you send to deal with the boogeyman, or the manager or boss that just can't seem to do the right thing. How many times do you have to get taken advantage of before you've had enough? We're willing to bet you're already there, or you wouldn't be here. Enough is enough. This needs to stop, and we're here to help. Karens have been changing your way of life for the better since before you were born. Don't believe us? You want to tell me Alexander Hamilton wasn't a Karen? He was assigned to write only 7 essays to Congress. Hamilton chose to embrace his true nature and wrote 51 essays to Congress in defense of what is now our Constitution. That's a Karen, if I ever heard one. We are taking the power back in all aspects of people's lives. We believe that you shouldn't have to pay a lawyer thousands of dollars to correct a small injustice. In most cases, you don't even need a lawyer. But what choice do you have? We believe this gives corporations the upper hand, and they exploit it to line their pockets. The cost of fight usually outweighs the problem, and they calculate that you will just accept it and move on. That is no longer the case. As you join the Karens, our numbers grow. As you grow our legion, so does the influence of the Karens. That means your power grows. The Karens will be the power of the sun in the palm of your hand. That means changes will happen and they will be held accountable. We strive to keep fees fair. If we didn't, we would be them. We are not. We are the people. We are the Karens. We are on your left. So that is the about section. And let's just go in and see. Let's go in and see some of the things that they do. Okay, let's go down here. So their services are for car negotiation, affordable car repair, affordable car advice. I would actually use that. Like, I could use any of those things. Like Victor, fun fact, Victor has actually taken over fixing my car on almost everything, because every time I brought it to the garage, that they would fucking screw me and lie to me. And so I had to actually have Victor do it because he would understand that they were charging me thousands of dollars when I didn't understand because I don't know anything about cars. I could have used the goddamn Karens for that. I could have taken one chore less off of my husband. They do real estate. They do life coaching, micro unions, complaint letters, credit repair, Twitter rebellion. I'm especially interested in this Twitter rebellion thing. Mediation and super villainy. What is this? Super villainy. They've got a Dark Knight quote: "The Joker cannot win. Gotham needs its true hero. So I can do those things." Super villainy. A hero's moral code is their guiding star. There is always a moment in the hero's battle against villainy when a hero's moral code becomes clouded. They are then forced to make a choice that may, in fact, go against their moral code to achieve the goal of the greater good. Many times, the hero is never the same. Some heroes never recover. Why put yourself through that? We can be those things. Sometimes it takes a supervillain to beat a supervillain. To those supervillains, we are the supervillains. We have plenty of Karens that can wear that hat happily. We have a secret vault on a secret island where these Karens are all kept, all Hannibal Lecter style, so it would be our pleasure. Then get a Karen. This is actually amazing. This website is amazing. Okay, let's go to pricing. Apparently, you have to schedule a consultation. Affordable services, affordable consulting, affordable help. The fee structure is designed to be as fair as possible. We believe in the long run, as the legions of Karens grow, the need for higher fees will devolve. The need for the Karens will evolve into what? Hopefully a beacon of widespread change. Fees will be discussed beforehand and will be clear. They will start under $100 and go as low as 10. We are just trying to fill a need as fairly as possible. Under $100 to hire your own Karen? Dude. We need to hire a legion of Karens for the Unwoke army. Like, this is like a no-brainer. We need to hire, here's what we need to do. We need to hire a legion of Karens to go after the Burlington School District. Like, this would be the greatest revenge we've ever had in our lives. We need to the Unwoke army needs to seriously consider this. All right, let's go back. Let's see. FAQs. How much are your fees? Fees vary from situation to situation. The average is $50 to $75. Is there a limit to what my Karens will do? Your Karen will go above and beyond as only a Karen can. However, nothing illicit or illegal will be in the cards. Let's see. How do you handle speaking to companies on my behalf? In certain scenarios, you may need to sign a limited power of attorney that covers only the scope of work requested. What happens if no resolutions are met? Depending upon the issue and the resolution offered, multiple things could happen. Refunds and discounts are available. If you are not happy with that company, then the full might of the Karens will be unleashed on them and they will rue the day. Are you attorneys? No. But we do have attorneys on staff to use for reference. If we find that your situation requires an attorney to get the best result for you, we will let you know that in time. Oh my God. Let's see Twitter rebellion. On Twitter, you will either die a hero or you live on there long enough to see yourself become a Karen. Twitter rebellion. Oh, the Twitter's verse. So here's our plan. It will be totally anonymous. For this to work as its intended purpose, we will need everyone to follow us on Twitter and all of our social media for that matter. Post everywhere. You will have to help us help you. So guys, we all need to go follow the Karens on Twitter. Let's look up their Twitter account right now. I'm going to follow them. They are at Karens for Hire on Twitter. Okay, so they need some more followers. They only have 165. I'm going to give them one more right now. I suggest everyone right now go follow Karens for Hire. Let them know I sent you. Okay, let's keep going. See, the problem is most people do have something great to say, but it's lost in the comments section or drowned out in an echo chamber. I don't read the comments. Thanks, Joe Rogan. However, if the Karens tweet it out with the voice of a billion Karens behind it, well, that's a whole new level no one accounted for. Can you imagine the power of the sun in the palm of your hand? Be one in a billion and actually manifest destiny. The Karens are the voice of the people, so everyone gets a voice. We bring no preconceived agenda into the social media drift. We are neutral on all issues, with the exception of racism, kids, and inciting violence. We just want a fair platform where people can speak freely, as our 4 Karens intended. Picture this, if you will. An empire of greed is on the dark side of this force that controls our lives. This force surrounds us, it penetrates us, it binds our perceived galaxies together. We need to restore balance to this foe. How do we do this? To get people to agree is like through an asteroid field of options. The possibility of successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1. But like our founder said, never tell me the odds, Karen. So here's how this works. Cost is $15. Why? Because if you're good at something, you never do it for free. All posts are anonymous, limited to 2 tweets per a year per account. Post only during designated times. 2 hours on, 2 hours off, 6 days a week. No corporations, celebrities, or media. Follower limited strictly will apply. Less is more. No post will be our own unless it's putting a Karen wig on someone. We do not fact check. A corresponding poll will apply, so you, the people, have a say. Agree or disagree with the post. We are open to amendments, additions, and subtractions on this. You are all Karens, so majority of Karens rule. Literally. That's a little less exciting than I thought it might be. Let's see. What other services should we look at? Does anyone have any customer servants grievances? We should probably look at this one if we're being responsible. I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you a Karen. You merely adopted anger for poor customer service. Our Karens were born in it, molded by it. I don't have time for this is good enough for us. Get the Karens. This is a result of business not caring about their customers. You don't deserve to deal with customer service issues. You put your trust in them when you purchased their product or service. You trusted them to do the right thing and give you proper customer service. We believe your feelings and emotions are justified. Don't hide them. Embrace them. They will rue the day. The Karen strike fear into those who simply do not do what's right. As our legion grows, so will the fear. Then their approach to customers will change. I could probably go on this website all day long. I think this is fabulous. I don't even care if this is real. I want to hire them for something. Even if this is just a joker who is like a fantastic copywriter, because the writing on this site is really, 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 really effing good. This is the right attitude. This is, in fact, I think I need to reach out to them because I really feel like the Unwoke Army needs to partner with Karens for Hire. I feel like we are two peas in a pod. I feel like we go together like peanut butter and jelly. I feel like this is a more perfect, cohesive collaboration has never existed in the history of the Unwoke Army, which is only like a couple months old. So it hasn't been alive that long. But I really feel, and members of the Unwoke Army that are in the chat right now, you can let me know. I feel like this needs to happen. I'm going to send them an email. We're going to have a call. We're going to stage. We're going to create a partnership and a collaboration between the Unwoke Army and the Karens. This is amazing. I hope you all enjoyed this as much as I did. Well, guys, that is all I have for today. I did see another super chat come in, so I want to make sure I get it, and I apologize for not reading it earlier. Joshua Black, want to say I have not been super vocal, but I appreciate your work. Joshua, I appreciate that very, very much, and thank you. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Guys, if you enjoy my work and you would like to support it, one of the very best things you can do is join my locals community. You can join at kb.locals.com/support. When you join my locals and become a supporter for $5 a month, or for $50 a year, or by making a one-time gift, whatever's clever for you, you get access to lots of exclusive perks like 2 weekly Zoom calls with me. I spend between 8 and 10 hours a week on private, unrecorded, super secret Zoom calls with my locals where we plot, we scheme, we gossip, we do other stuff too. So if you want to find out what happens on those Zoom calls, you need to become a member of my locals community. My locals make it possible for me to do these daily streams. They make it possible for me to continue doing this work day in and day out, even though it drives me a little batty insane. My locals community brings a little bit more sanity back into my life. And of course, if you want to if you want to access your inner Karen, I will teach you how to do that in my book, Actively Unwoke, the ultimate guide for fighting back against the woke insanity in your life. Listen, I admit it. I am absolutely bringing that Karen energy from that website into fighting back against the woke. I feel that people are entitled to live in a world without wokeism in it. And people should feel entitled. People should feel entitled to stand up to a bully that calls them a racist. People should feel entitled to stand up to a cancel mob that wants to take away their job or their credit card or their bank account. We should all feel entitled to tell the woke to F right off and go back where they came from and to mind their own effing business. This is why I think a partnership with the Karens might be the perfect collaboration, because I absolutely believe that people should feel entitled to a good life where they're not harassed on the internet or in their work life or in their schools. I believe that people should feel entitled to not have their children indoctrinated by the government in public schools. I think people should feel entitled to be able to listen to whatever music they want to listen to, support whatever artists they want to support, watch whatever movies they want, even if those movies don't have a virtue signal or a non-binary character in them. That is exactly what Actively Unwoke is all about. It is about turning back the cultural revolution in this country, and that's what I tried to achieve. Let's see. Andrew says your book is not available in the UK until July. Andrew, I know people in the UK who have gotten their copy, though. There's a member of my locals that has gotten their copy, so I'm not sure what's going on there. I would recommend maybe trying a different bookseller or something, because I do know people in the UK who have gotten their copy. Guys, the book is available in hardcover and Kindle right now. The audio version will be coming back soon. I'm not sure exactly when yet because I have to record it, but it will be coming back. But for right now, you can pick up your hardcover and Kindle version, and make sure you head over to activelyunwoke.com and sign up for the book club we have coming up. And if you miss this book club, don't worry. I'm going to run another one later this year. So if you miss this book club, there's going to be more options. So if you're waiting for that audiobook, I've got you covered, man. I will run another book club when the audiobook comes out, just to cover everyone, because it was all supposed to come out at the same time. Got a little messed up. There were quality control issues, and I'm taking care of it and recording it myself. So there will be no more quality control issues with the audiobook. All right, guys, I will be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Same time, same place. Take care. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll